I think, for us, it's been navigating and helping clients, re-educating how we go about creating these experiences and what the word hybrid truly means. Broadcast is not new. We've all been watching television for a long time. And so how do we transition that into events?
Yeah. And that's such a nice sum up there. I guess from the very beginning of talking, like when you first talk to somebody and they say, Erica, we want to have a hybrid event. Like, let's take hybrid since our name is to Hybrid and Beyond for the event, right? We're really trying to think of, like, how do we do an in-person piece? How do we do a virtual piece and bring them together? So what are kind of some of the things that you discuss with them, when they're considering that?
Right, like what are our objectives? I know that seems really basic, but our objectives have changed. Our audience have changed. We have all been, quote unquote, at home or locked up or, in our own space, in our own safe space for such a long time. So our learning styles have changed. How we want and when we want to have education has changed. So starting through those conversations of objectives, a lot of where we've seen is like, we're still getting the same answers, but we're like, but what we did in 2018, 2019 is not the same now, and so trying to get those objectives to align with where we are in the world right now. And then again, okay, so now let's talk, great. So in person, what protocols do we want to put in place? What are the experiences that we do want to have? Where are we going? Obviously, location depends on what those things are and how we shift to them. We have a client working in Austin right now, and they're more open than the client I have working in, Nashville or California. So each of those is really important. So understanding what those are, and then also for the conversation is what is our plan? If we need to shift, how do we make those next steps very easily so that we're not being totally reactive, that we're being proactive to react? And that goes in with the objectives of the event. If we are, again, going back to, it's just changed in this last year. So the objective of, we want to get 100 people on site. Awesome. And what happens when that has to shift? So how does that change?
Right. And, kind of going to specific examples, you are very involved in producing the upcoming, for those of you who are watching on demand, in a couple of days as of this live piece here, where the BizBash Connect Tampa event is happening, and Erica is the executive producer. So I'll start with you. I do want to hear from everybody, but Erica, what has that been like in terms of just navigating the in-person experience at I believe it's the Tampa Bay Convention Center, and then the virtual piece?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's been following safety regulations with the state, with the venue, and then what all of us at Connect and BizBash have determined is how we are incorporating all of that to bring safe meetings in play here. So that's been our first and foremost. We want to meet safely. Everyone wants to gather. The other thing we did specifically for BizBash is we really, along with Kate Pate, we really looked at and strategized how we were creating our experiences and education. We took a different approach of doing shorter educations to get some really good points, to get a lot of people's views and expertise on the stage. And we also created an on-demand library that you can go to now, starting today and through the event to watch.
There you go.
And be able to comment, connect with speakers, etc. So we took a completely different approach than we have before. And a lot of things that we're doing are just different. So, come along and see, of course. But yeah, the way we approach the in-person is different than how we approach the virtual. And we really made sure that what is that experience for the virtual person and what is that experience in person? There's some very fun things. Don't want to give it all away, of course, ahead of time, but there are some very fun things that will be happening that give the opportunity to also learn how we're doing the technical, why we have the amount of crew that we have. Being able to really dig into that. Of course, we all want to attend a really nice event, but this is the events that we also produce, and learning why we need all of those things and how we do it is equally important.